The 5 pillars to sustainable change at the Helm. The first pillar is called core desires and setting intention. I always say if you don't have a target, you'll miss every time. And how would you know if you didn't? If you don't know where you're going, any path will take you there, for sure. But when we take time to get clear, it's more powerful when we take action from a place of alignment and flow, because we're connected to it. Anytime we make a powerful change, like I said earlier, is sparked by a moment of clarity. So knowing where we want to go is a great place to start. The first 2 pillars, honestly, are the uncomfortable work, the inner work. People talk about personal growth, but growth is work. And it takes time to be still, to go inward. But if you look at why is the inner journey so important? I love that Nadine echoes the inner journey in her poetry. You think about an egg. If it's broken from an outside force, life ends basically. But if it's broken from an inside force, life begins. NASA did a study years back and they created what they thought was a perfect environment. Tammy shared this with me years ago, where they said they had the perfect environment to grow these trees. You want to see how fast they could grow the trees. The right soil, the right temperature, the right water. And they were so pleased, it was growing super fast. But once they got to a certain height, they're like, what's happening? They all started to just fall over. There was an element they forgot to include: wind. There was no resistance. And with no struggle, no resistance, they didn't think they needed strong roots. But we all need strong roots, and we only develop that by going inward. We spend so much of our life, either consciously or unconsciously, looking outside ourselves for that fulfillment, for that next thing, when you find the right partner, when you get that raise, when you buy the house or get the car, whatever that is for people. But at the end of the day, you will not get fulfillment from that. It's okay to want those things and to grow and work towards it. But it's the inner journey, it's who we become. Jim Rohn said, success is something we attract by the person we become. And I truly believe that. It's the journey, it's the moment, that's all we ever had. Anything that happened or will happen, it will happen in the now. The now is the present moment. When we're in fear, anxiety, we're in the future. Anger, resentment, we're in the past. In the now, peace is waiting for you. That's where it lies. And we have the power to slow time. We can really slow time. Flow state's interesting too, because sometimes flow state will slow time and sometimes it'll speed time. Where you think you've only been working 10 minutes and 4 hours disappeared. Or you think you've been working 4 hours and only 10 minutes disappeared. But it's really interesting. Time serves a purpose, but we have the power to slow it. I'm in awe daily, just going for a walk. It could be a squirrel on my deck, or the way the light goes through the trees, or a flower. Today on my run, there was a bush of really pink flowers as I was running. The difference between liking a flower and loving it, I love that. I don't know if you heard that before. But if you like a flower, you'll pick it. If you love a flower, you'll admire it. When you pick it, it's done. But when you nurture it, it just thrives more. Which brings me to pillar 2, removing obstacles. When I wrote the workbook for pillar 2, I literally got the aha moment for one of the things I knew I was meant to do in my life. Still took me about 2 years to listen to it, but eventually I did it. But when we ask ourselves those powerful questions, we can think about where energy never lies. Where are we feeling resistance? Where are we feeling stuck? People go through times in life feeling stuck, and the cool thing is we're never stuck. And this drives people crazy sometimes when I say that, but they're like, I'm telling you, I'm stuck. I've been stuck for a while. Well, me too. And Groundhog Day, I was stuck for 5 years doing the same thing. But energy is always moving, energy is always changing. So the second we change the input, the output eventually has to be different. We're not stuck. We're stuck in our thoughts, we're stuck in our beliefs, and we're stuck in our actions and patterns. When we shift our perception, when we change one input, the output eventually has to change. Again, small steps daily makes sustainable, powerful change in our life. So pillar 2 is all about removing obstacles. Every adversity, life is always happening for us. That's not to minimize the grief, the sorrow, the struggle, the pain that we experience in the human condition. But somewhere in there, there's a silver lining. No storm lasts forever. This too shall pass. Some of my favorite sayings. Because every adversity has an equal or greater opportunity. Pillar 3, developing a positive mindset. You know, I had a boss one time that would say, Joel, you're too damn positive. It's like, how can you be too positive? And I don't mean, you know, I always got to be happy. I went through a phase like that where I'm like, oh, I'm not feeling happy. I got to shift this. Can't be negative. No, feel it to heal it. Allow it. Observe it, but don't judge it. We are not our thoughts. We are the observer. Us as humans, the human species, we have something different than even the animals and mammals. We have metacognition, which is just a fancy word to say we can think about the thoughts we're having. In fact, I call it the thoughts, the observer, and the watcher. So the thought is our physical mind having the thought. And then the observer is us thinking about the thoughts we're having. But then there's a part of us, there's an awareness present, always present, watching us watch our thoughts. That's consciousness itself. And I love flow state and consciousness. I've studied it to a very high degree, and I definitely don't have all the answers. And what resonates for me doesn't have to resonate for you. No one's anyone's guru. We can look outside for support, for guidance, for that spark and belief or trajectory, but we are all our own guru. Our answers are inward, every time. It's never without outside ourselves. When we think it's the government, the road, the mother-in-law, the politics, economics, whatever that might be, you're done. You're giving away your power and you're going against the river. But when you flow with the river of life, you see that everything we experience is simply a perspective, a lens of where the collective consciousness currently sits. And the most powerful thing we can do is raise our own vibration. That's why being positive. We have to have a solution-focused thought. Because what we think about and put time into, it expands. Anything against something, even though it's meaning well, like it's a good intention, it attracts more of it. We need to focus on where are we heading. And it's not about fighting the old system, it's about creating a system that makes the old system obsolete. I think that was Buckminster Fuller's line. But it's very simple and powerful. So developing a positive mindset is the third pillar. Fourth pillar, all about having support. This was an area where I definitely struggled. You know how you can hear the same thing a million times and all of a sudden someone says it and it resonates? He was right. Anytime I do a talk, I'm like, how many people in here love to help others? Show of hands, you like to help other people? How many people in here get excited about asking for help? I think, really? So think about that, right? So the way I word it to my network and clients, I say, if you think about the way you feel when you give to someone, when you allow someone to give to you, you're still giving because you're gifting them that feeling. And it's meant to be ebb and flow and receiving. Give and receive. Notice I didn't say give and take. We're never taking, but be open to receive. There's a huge difference. For a long while, the love of power was in place, but it is sliding and we are shifting to the power of love. So development of positive mindset and then the foundation. Jim Rohn said it best when he said, you are the average of the top 5 people you spend the most time with. Pillar 5, I get to be a geek and geek out with productivity. You know, we can have all the clarity we want. We can remove the obstacle. We can have the right mindset and even have the support. But if we don't take action, you're going to stay where you are now. It's important to take action, and yet there's always that element of surrender because, you know, we can be so uber focused on the goal and what it's going to look like and what we think it's supposed to be like. But it's never, the universe always has a better plan than we do. So trust the why, take intentional action from a place of alignment, and let the flow of life take you where it takes you. I want to thank you all for being here tonight. I send you all love and gratitude. Thank you so much. It really means a lot to me. I don't take it lightly, and it's been a perfect evening. I wouldn't have done anything any differently, so thank you.